So, like I said, welcome to the call. Just another weekly outlook. Today's date is August 18th, 2024. Well off into another trading week, and just want to do this call just to make sure we're in proper alignment with the markets. Give you guys some setups, some potential setups, give you some things you should look for and react off of, just to have a good profitable week, right? Real quick, I always like to start off with just a little bit of mindset. Not going to take too much time before we actually hop into the charts, but just falling in love with the routine of what it takes to become successful. Most people, they don't reach success not because they don't want it. Obviously, we all want success, but I feel like a lot of people get burnt out on the road to riches. A lot of people get burnt out when they have to do the monotonous task of showing up every single day, every single week, every single month. And I get it, life happens and stuff. Life's happened to me where I had to take a couple weeks and, recalibrate, reset, take care of business, take care of family, take care of other stuff in personal life. But the main objective is to make sure you always come back to the charts and never, never, never give up on the goal of becoming a full-time profitable trader. Right. Another thing is, you got to realize that you only in competition with yourself. I feel like a lot of times we watch guys on social media, we watch others, and sometimes we start to compare journeys, right? I mean, shoot, I saw somebody that's been trading half the time I've been trading, bought a Bugatti today, and I'm like, damn, what am I doing wrong, or whatever the case may be. You start having those feelings and stuff like that. It's like I'm doing well, but I'm nowhere where I want to be. And you see other people might come in after you and pass you up, whatever the case may be, it's fine, right? Just really understand that where you're supposed to be in your journey at this point in time, right? Everybody that you're watching that might be ahead of you now, 5 years from now, you might be an inspiration to them, right? So you can't, judge yourself based off everybody else's journey. Obviously, we can definitely gain inspiration from it, but it's also important to remember, to compare yourself to your journey. Make sure you get better every single day than the person that you was yesterday. And if you can consistently do that, then everything is going to happen in due time. One thing I always tell myself is like, if I had everything in the world that I wanted, years ago, I probably would have messed it up, right? So I went through ups and downs of entrepreneurship to build character, to build grit, resilience, resourcefulness, patience, build up my emotional intelligence. So that way, when I have everything that I've ever desired, right, I'll be ready for it. All right. So you got to look at life the same way. We all on this journey on the road to riches together. And as long as you keep showing up, it's inevitable, man. Only people that never make it is the people that quit. If you never quit, eventually you're gonna have to have your day to shine. All right. So now that we got that out the way, we can hop straight into the technical side of things. You already know GU. That's pretty much my top pair, the pair I trade the most. And we are coming into an interesting area, potential area of interest. And whenever I'm trading, I always like to start with the top down analysis. That's the best way to go because obviously you want a higher time frame perspective to help you determine what it is that you believe the market is going to do in current time, right? So when I come to the daily, I know there's a lot of drawings on my chart, so just try to, bear with me, all right? But if you guys actually, see over here, look through all the drawings and stuff. Obviously, the market created a high up here and the market just, tanked. And this is on a daily chart. So this is over the course of a pretty decent amount of time. The market did leave a high right here before continuing to the downside. So now this high for me is being used as a point of buy side liquidity or internal range liquidity. If we're looking at this is the high of the range and this of the low of the range, right? Since this is the daily chart, I mean, the chart is like, this time span is so large. And I don't want you to get too caught up into internal range liquidity in this aspect because that's something I usually use for entries and things of that matter. So I really look for internal range liquidity for the most part. I look for that on smaller time frames. But just in this case, we do see this high here. We do understand that there's a good possibility that there's some money above that high. So when the market does come and take this high, now we can actually anticipate a sell-off happening, right? And that's the thing about trading. You're not going to be right every time, but the whole thing is you want to learn how to trade with proper anticipation, right? Because at the end of the day, like you can't sit on the sidelines. You got to push a button to make money. And when you push that button, there's always going to be the possibility for you to potentially win or potentially lose. So you got to accept that long before you even look for a setup. You have to accept that truth that you're going to lose trades. Period, point blank. You're not going to be 100%. If you find somebody that is 100%, please point them my direction because I will throw my strategy in the trash for theirs. Now, with that being said, it's not about when you lose and this and that. It's just about how do you manage it? How do you manage, your losses versus your wins? How much are you losing compared to how much when you win, how much do you win? If the wins outweigh the losses in terms of, size and quantity or, dollar amount, then you're a profitable trader. I don't care if you got a 30% win rate. I know people that win 30% of their trades, but their wins are so big that 70% of losses don't hurt them that much, right? So, regardless of what it is for you, do whatever it takes for you to become profitable, right? Now, with this, seeing how we did pop up over this high, that tells me automatically that this high cleared out buy side liquidity. So, when the buy side liquidity gets closed, right, or captured, now we can actually start anticipating the sell off, which actually happened. The market did indeed push lower. Now that I kind of have that, it somewhat confirms what it is that I had already anticipated, right? So seeing the market drop the way that it did. So now that the market did go bullish, I was anticipating this going bullish, which is why I had this line here. I actually missed my ace entry, unfortunately. Like I can't believe I missed it because I was ready for it. And then it just kind of, I don't know what I was doing. It's probably an awkward time of the day or something at like 4 a.m. I probably fell asleep. Who knows? But I had already anticipated this going back up to clear out all the highs left to the side over here. Once we push up into this buy to sell candle, this big buy that happened right here, that's where I'm personally looking for sell opportunities, right? Because it's important to realize, we were pushing into a strong high. This high, it left highs behind. And then this big up candle right here took the buy side liquidity right there as well. So now the market should come back to this area to mitigate all the buys that took place right here. Okay. So the market bought up here. And then right here, they decided to sell. Okay. So just because they sold, that doesn't mean that this buy is closed. This buy is still open, right? The only difference is this buy was in massive drawdown, right? When the market was coming way down here, dropping, dropping, dropping. This trade was still open, but this trade is just in massive drawdown when the market is dropping. So now, because large institutions, hedge funds, they don't lose often, right? Like they win drastically more than they lose. So the reason why that happens is because they always come back. They keep this position open. In same way, I'm pretty sure you guys can relate. Type of one in the chat. If you've ever taken a trade, you started losing and you just started praying that the trade came back to your entry. So that way you can close the trade out at a break even or a minimal loss, right? Or maybe even a little profit, right? I'm pretty sure all of you guys can relate to that, especially if you've been trading, longer than a couple months, realistically, right? And essentially, that's exactly what the institutions are doing, right? They know that they're losing. They're aware that they're losing here, but they also know where that original entry is. So they're going to wait for that original entry to be met again. So that way they can mitigate that loss. Okay. Mitigate meaning lessen the risk, lessen the damage. That's the definition of mitigation, right? So, boom, when they come back to this level, now they can close that trade. Boom. So instead of losing millions of dollars, guess what? They might break even or they might even make a little profit, right? So now, once we push up into this region here, now I feel like we can anticipate a nice leg to the downside. Okay. This is personally what I'll be looking for on GBP USD this week. When I see this large candle, I think there's a lot of supply built up here. I will be looking for an entry here just based off of the bottom of that candle. However, if the market chooses to come a tad bit higher, maybe clear up above this high, I'll take another jab at it just my stop loss will be a lot smaller on the second attempt, right? So yeah, that's another thing I want to kind of, just get you up the game on, guys. Sometimes if you having a trading day, like really think about what a trading day consists of, right? You might be on the charts, you wake up in the morning, sit down in front of your computer for a few hours looking for setups, right? And you got to understand you're going to take more than one trade at times. A lot of people will take one trade, and I guess it ain't a terrible thing because you're not over trading. But at the same time, I do think there's such thing as under trading as well. A lot of people take one trade setup, and if the trade lose, it's like, oh, I had a bad day. But at the end of the day, maybe you got the direction right, but you just picked the wrong, area of supply or demand. Maybe you just had the wrong entry that you was right in the direction. So that's why if I were you, I would have multiple places that I could actually take a trade from, right? So right here, I want to take it at the bottom of this big bullish candle. We got a little bit of imbalance here. So yes, I want to take a trade right there, have a stop loss a little bit higher. Now, if I lose that one, guess what? I'm gonna take another trade right here using good risk management. Got a tight stop. 30 pips on a 4 hour GU setup ain't bad at all. Right. Now let's say, and then I come back and target these lows. Now, even if I take a loss here, if I come back and get this one, I made all those losses back and some, right? So you got to be willing to take a couple strikes at bat before you just give up, right? Like any sport, if you play baseball or something like that, you get, three opportunities to, make contact and get on base. You know what I'm saying? You get three opportunities to make that happen. So give yourself more than one opportunity. I played football growing up. Right, I played football in college. We had four opportunities to get 10 yards. Like it wasn't just you get one attempt and that's the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can go backwards twice. First and second down, you go backwards. You're looking at third and 15, and on third down, you get 30 yards. And now you ahead of schedule, right? You ahead of what you were shooting for. And that's essentially what happens in just the world of trading, right? It's never just a straight line. It's an equity curve, right? And that equity curve looks a lot like realistically like, market structure, like, have you ever seen an equity curve? It's never like really a straight line. You might have, a win here, you take a loss, win, loss, loss, win, loss. And it's like this back and forth pattern. But as long as you're going higher and higher, then you're good. You don't have nothing to worry about. All right. So just keep your eyes on this here. Okay. This is what I'm personally looking at for GBP USD. I do believe we'll get some weakness out of it. With that, let me check the DXY as well. I'm just curious to see if we're gonna get some bullishness. Probably should, considering the setup that I'm looking for. So yeah. So far as the DXY is concerned, I do believe the market is gonna go down just a tad bit more. But I do believe it'll turn around down here, right? So if you just really look, we got a decent demand chain going. We had demand respect here. Market took its bullish run, came back, respected demand. We took our little bullish run. We coming back into that area again. Okay. Now, what I notice right here is the market is starting to go sideways a bit. It's starting to consolidate, right? We just pushed underneath this low, so we took the liquidity right there. But if I look to the left, I still see a little bit more over here as well, right? I see weak lows resting right above this area imbalance. So for me, that's like a good sign because I have an area of imbalance, which would already, have me looking for a potential opportunity. But on top of that, I have like this little area of consolidation that created weak lows. So I want the weak lows to get taken out first, and then I can get in because that's going to help fuel the buy. You know what I'm saying? Like old lows, weak highs, old liquidity, that acts as fuel to help propel the next move. All right. So if this market continues to drop, we get underneath these weak lows, and then we push into that area imbalance right here. This is where I could really see that market spring to the upside, right? And I feel like right now we're just preparing for an accumulation schematic. We just got that first reaction there. We're starting to consolidate a bit. We might push down a little bit underneath this low, but essentially I'm looking for a convincing push lower into this area of demand underneath this low at 101.9. I think that would be a great place to start looking for entries. 101.9 right there. Perfect. Beautiful. Nice solid number. If you just want something a little more solid, I guess you could say maybe 102. Um, but that doesn't completely take out that liquidity there. So I'm personally going to use 101.9. All right. And once we get there, I am looking for this market to continue pushing up and gaining strength. All right. Even on the higher time frame, we go to the daily. This thing is still in a bullish trend, believe it or not. This had this big bullish run, market kind of reset. If anything, this looks like just a real big area of accumulation. But ultimately, what I see is the market just continuing to the upside, respecting demand and just respecting market structure. We got a low, higher high, higher low. We make a high here, potential higher low. And I think we're about to break out of that little compression pattern and go up to the upside, probably make new highs. Obviously, this is the daily, so that's going to take a good minute to happen, but I'm just kind of giving you an overall projection. I am still bullish on this. I'll be taking my buys at 101.9. All right. So, y'all guys want that set up? There it is. Obviously, this call is being recorded, and I'll move fast just so you guys can get through the recording with ease. All right. But yeah, 101.9 is where I'm looking to take buys on GU. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm looking at the DXY. I'm dumb. My bad. I think it's gonna go to 101.9, then go bullish. I already marked up GU. I'm slow. My bad. Um Ultimately, same setup, just reversed, right? I think DXY is gonna make a higher low and go bullish. I think GU is gonna make a lower high and go bearish. Man, that whole time I'm thinking I'm marking up GU. I was like, that 101 does sound a little strange. But I was just like, hey, I'm not gonna argue with it. That makes sense now. But yeah, the DXY is accumulating to go bullish. I don't know, my bad. I didn't mean to confuse y'all if I did. So moving on. USD CAD, man, I was so disappointed I didn't catch that sale. I should have known, but you can't catch them all every single day. You gotta pace yourself. With the DXY going bullish, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not sure positive like what's USD CAD is gonna do. Obviously it can go bullish, but it is predicated more off of Canadian strength as well. It's not just, the US dollar. CAD got to get involved in that as well, which is why there's been times, the DXY and USD CAD don't move together all the time because of that reason there. However, we have had a decent drop off. We got a little bit of liquidity above here left as well. And I'm just curious to see if it can come get filled out, right? That's what I'm curious to figure out. See, I marked up to 50% no, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I could have sniped that bad boy right there. Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, it's all good. I do see this potentially pushing back to the upside as well. Just looking here, just want to kind of refine that point of interest a little bit so the range isn't so large. But here, obviously, we created a low, then we purged that low, taking the sell side liquidity. As we did that, we did push into this sell to buy area with a little bit of imbalance, and we also pushed underneath this liquidity here, which helped fuel that next buy move. So for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, this is a strong low because we created a low, then we took it, then we took off to the upside, right? Now, on top of that, we do have a sell to buy here. Looks like all the candles underneath have already been rebalanced. However, this one still does have a bit of a gap there that I wouldn't be surprised to see if the market wants to come and give us a reaction off of. So just with that, weak lows, we come take those out, maybe 136, 1.3656, 1.3656, or 1.365, if that makes it easier. But for me, I probably go for 3656. This market is starting to, it's going sideways. It's still dropping, don't get me wrong, but just that sideways nature is showing that it is at least attempting to slow down a bit, even though it got more to go. You do want to see some buyers start to step in a little bit, right? So that's what I got there. All right. Check the chat real quick. Any comments, questions, concerns? I don't want to just, go without making sure I address anything y'all got questions on. So obviously, appreciate y'all for locking in, paying attention. But I do want to make sure that if you have anything specific you need help with, I'll answer that as well. So any comments, questions, or concerns? AUD CAD. I believe we talked about, I probably talked about this with my personal community, but solid setup for sure. When I saw it, it was already pushing up a little bit, so I didn't personally hop in. I was hoping the market could drop back a little lower for London, but it never did. However, I did give that option to people if they were comfortable with the potential of having drawdown. And but ultimately, the market is moving very nice. That's all we looking for, man. We're just looking for opportunities. When the market gets to a certain level, as you can see here, same thing with the DXY. Right, we got that little area consolidation that we want to come clear out. Then we push right into a little area imbalance as well, which is this right here. So we got that area imbalance, then we got this little area consolidation creating internal range liquidity. So the market comes and takes that out, boom, like my bias is switching to bullish every time. So now I'm looking for reasons for the market to go bullish, right? I got highs here, highs here, highs here. Now I got trend line liquidity. Okay. I also have, big bullish candlesticks right here, multiple, one right here and one right here. Left me with a little bit of imbalance, right? So now I got money above and I got imbalance below. That just told me that the buy is valid. It's just very simple, key indicators that we're looking for. And again, I feel like the reason why people overcomplicate it because they think that just because you have these factors that you have to win every time you take a trade. And I feel like that is the primary reason why traders lose because you'll do everything right, the trade will lose, and then you start to switch up things that you're doing to avoid that pain of loss. But the moment you understand that it's just a necessary requirement for you to, trade, it's like a business expense. Like you wouldn't expect to have a brick and mortar business or, say you had a restaurant, but you were mad that you had to spend money on food. That wouldn't make sense, right? Like, yes, there's gonna be some negatives on your expensive report. But at the end of the day, those negatives is what allows you to have the positives come in. Because ain't no customers gonna come without you spending money on the food and having it delivered, whatever the case may be. So it's just a shift in mindset that really help y'all get to the next level, right? So now we about to move on to ADCHF. I think we're gonna get a continuation play out of here. If this market can find a way to come down a little bit lower, that would be great for me. Like, can the market do this? Yeah, but like I'm not really interested in that setup. I want this to come a little bit lower, right? If we can come down into this level here, then I feel solid about that continuation play because we created a low, then we took it out, we pushed to the upside, we left imbalance after the sell to buy. Then we also got a hezzy crossover right here. So we hesitate. off of supply, and this is the decision making time where the market has two choices. The market can respect supply and go lower, or the market can pause and say, you know what, forget supply, I'm going higher. Boom. So right here where the market took that pause to make a decision, that is where the market changed hands. So that pause is very important. It's something that a lot of people tend to overlook, but I always look for that pause because that gives me extra clarity on the market truly deciding to go up. And it also gives me a vantage point to where I'm going to take my entry because I just look at the bottom of that hezzy and I say, hey, this is where I'm getting in. That's internal range liquidity. So when the market comes and taps into it, that's where I'm going to get in. Right. So I get in right underneath internal range liquidity. Just for the sake of not having a huge stop loss, I'll put like 15 pips. If I got to take it twice, that's fine. Take one right here. And then if I mess up, I'll take another one right there. But I just don't like having big stop losses. I'm not saying you got to do it like this, but I rather have a tight stop loss and risk taking an L versus a big one. That's just me because like I'm a big risk to reward guy. Like I can get a 1 to 6 off of this, or I could just cover up this whole area and get a 1 to 2. I'm gonna take 1 to 6, even if there's a chance I'm gonna lose. So that is what I'm looking for personally on AUDCHF. Market's been pretty bullish. I don't think it's gonna really stop at this point. At least not right now. So keep your eyes on that. Now I'm taking buys at 57225. Okay, 0.57225. All right. Okay. Euro JPY. Okay, so we clear highs here. We come back, we react off of demand, but then we get a pretty solid reaction that fills in up to the last buy to sell right here. So that whole area is balanced out. Okay. Like we don't need to come back above that level. Market pushes down, makes a new low, then it retraces back into this previous candle as well. Okay. So we see this order flow starting to be established, right? Market pushes down, makes yet again a new low. Then it retraces and does what? Comes back to that buy to sell candle again, right? So now that the market is just kind of tanked, I'm looking for the same thing. Like it's actually pretty simple. Boom, right there. Buy the sell candle. We got a little area imbalance here. So just be aware that, maybe the market don't come all the way to 163.525. Maybe you got to get in a tad bit lower. But ultimately, I'm just looking for the market to come back up. All right, I do want to clear this high out here as I don't believe that that's a strong high. I do believe that that will be used as internal range liquidity. If we can come clear that out, we can push into 163. I'd even be willing to take 163.5 just to have y'all have a little bit more of a solid number. I feel like 163.5 will definitely be solid for potential sell-offs, okay? Um, I ain't gonna lie, market is fairly bullish. It's just I guess just the opportunity. I'm not necessarily saying that it's going, melt and drop, hundreds of pips, but just me being intraday, I just look for patterns on lower time frames to help me, see anything that's a potential setup, right? So, for example, might see something like this, catch me a little 1 to 5, and I'll be done. And like realistically, the market could do that and resume bullish again. That's fine. Like I'm not here to dispute that. I'm not here to say it's long term bearish or nothing like that. I'm just saying that's the opportunity that I'm taking advantage of at this particular moment. Euro NZD, we got some weak lows resting over here. The market did explode up, so I could definitely see why somebody might be interested in that. Me personally, I do feel like the market's still bearish though, because before I even look at these imbalances as potential buy scenarios, I gotta have a strong low first and foremost. So, there's an order of operations in which I do things. I want to see a strong low, and then if I see imbalance or something after that, then cool, I'm cool with that. But if I just have weak low like this, followed by huge imbalance, I'm just looking at this as a big trap, big no-no. I think the market's gonna violate that area. All right. So just with that, I do believe Euro NZD is gonna drop again. So now I'll just come down just a little bit, see what it is. Where can we potentially take a setup from? Price action does seem to be somewhat balanced for the most part, except like right here. I'm curious to see how that'll play out. I know the market opened and the spread already pushed up there, but if I can get up just a little bit higher, like maybe, 1.824, I'll be willing to take that like a lower time frame sell, tight stop loss, and just see if we can get that continuation. I don't trade Euro ZD often, but I do believe it's still bearish for the time being. Mm, Nothing much to see there. I don't want to be too long because I know y'all trying to go on about y'all Sunday. I do believe EuroCAD is gonna drop. I do have EuroCAD dropping. This is a setup y'all want to take. I would definitely take that. So boom, we come in clear highs, make a tad bit lower low. I'll come down to the 1 minute. You can see that a little better. Now we come clear highs again. No, we clearing highs. We respecting supply. Like it's just lots of sales signals. You know what I mean? Supply still getting respected. Still getting respected. So now as the market's coming back up here, guess what? I feel like we're gonna continue to respect supply it again. Yeah, I believe your CAD is gonna drop. If it can retrace a bit, great. But I mean, even from here, I wouldn't be surprised. Have like a 6 pip stop. You can definitely try to get some nice Sunday scalping in, possibly. If it pushes up, I give you a little better entry. Overall, I'm, pretty bearish on that. Um, Obviously, don't push the button now as it's pushing up. If it can push up a little higher, then that's just, that's a good scenario in my book, right? Higher I can get in, the better. Ultimately, though, I am targeting lower prices there.
Hey Ray, I got a question, bro.
Yo,
If once you get your setup and get your area point of interest, you take a trade any session, anytime it presents itself, or like if you had a setup and it swept liquidity or an Asian, you take it, or do you only trade specific sessions certain time?
Yeah, I'm not too strict about time frames or times of the day. Just because
Uh-huh.
most of the time, like I'm executing on such a small time frame, it's like it might not necessarily be considered a huge move from most people's standards, but for me and my standards, you know, I could be risking 6 pips for 30 and be happy, right? And that might just be consolidation to another trader. So for me, I don't necessarily have to wait for the high volatility times because most of the time, like, I'm trading live, not trading live, but I'm giving you a live outlook, right? So I'm looking at bigger time frames and, let me check the 4 hours, see what it's doing and stuff like that. But most of the time when I'm trading on a day to day, I'm on such a lower time frame. Like I'll execute whenever I see a setup. I don't really care too much about, sessions. I do trade them though, just so I
Got you.
can have some sort of, uniformity about myself, if that's a word. But so yeah, I mean, I like sessions just so I can have a routine, but it's not the end of the world if
For the most part, whenever it presents itself, you pull the trigger.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. Because I mean, I've taken trades. I mean, I remember taking trades right when the market would open, like Sunday afternoon. The sun ain't even went down yet. Everybody's
Nah,
like,
I'm
"Oh,
aware,
that's
bro. You was one of the dudes I seen do that. Market open Sunday, you in it, made
right."
money, and I'm like, you hear all these, different traders, different don't trade Sundays. The market's correcting itself and this and that, and then sometimes I'm like, I saw my setup Sunday, I didn't take it, waiting for Monday, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Came and went.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I feel like most people say that, so it lowers the likelihood of them making mistakes. It's like, it's like don't jaywalk. It's not like if you do it, you automatically gonna die. It's just, it's just doing things a certain way
Facts.
to avoid, other variables that you might not be able to control. Or the analogy that I like to use is just like when you was a kid, your parents told you not to talk to strangers. But you got older, you became more aware, more mature, aware of your surroundings. And now it's like we talk to strangers every day, whether it's for work, whether it's just because you want to, whatever. And it's like when you're a newbie or when you're younger in the game, you got to give yourself rules in order to protect yourself from yourself, right? But now that you're older, more mature, you don't have those same rules that you had when you was a child. The same with trading. So it's like newbies, yeah, trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in session. That's it. I mean, you've been doing this a while. You can decipher whether or not you could take a trade. But but yeah, I mean, gold very bullish. Obviously, if we can get a retracement, I'll take it. But obviously we moving pretty aggressively there as well. Moving pretty aggressively. Definitely still bullish on gold. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the world where I feel like gold is obviously it's like one of those anti-inflationary, anti fear things. Like if there's fear in the market, people buying gold. If there's, wars and shit going on, people buying gold. It's like I still remember when the very first was it in the Middle East? Yeah, I still remember when the very first missile got launched. I think it was like literally right here. I kid you not. Because I remember doing the call. I remember doing the call specifically when this all kicked off in the Middle East, right? It's almost been like a full year. I remember calling this play out, and then the market just been on a bullish rally ever since. And it's like it's just kind of funny how gold correlates with, you know, beef going on in the world. Like if there's some drama going on, gold is gonna be your go-to. I don't know why, but I mean I know why, but it's just it's just something to point out, you know. But yeah, I'll be looking for continuations on gold. I ain't got no entry just yet, so just sit on your hands, maybe wait for solid retracement. GJ, not the biggest fan if I'm being honest. GCAD should have took the buy right now. I just want to let this play out. I do believe that the market is going to continue to go bullish. I think that this buy is stronger than the potential for this sell. So I'm not gonna worry about the sell. Now I know I was looking at it on EuroCAD, but that's just because the setup is a little better to me than what I'm seeing here. I think GBP is a little stronger right now, or at least at the moment, right? GA don't really have nothing there. Yeah, G Chef same. Not really creating much structure to be able to go off of. Yeah, I'm good on that. Yeah, I don't see nothing on NZDs either. But yeah, I mean, that's just about everything. Like if we being honest. Like I said, I don't see a lot of setups, but I'm taking shorts on GU up in this level. Outside of that, what else did I have? I forgot. USD CAD, I'll definitely probably entertain some buys down at 136.5, or excuse me, 1.3655, like in that area. I'll be looking for buys. I think there's like one more continuation play on AUD CHF. It looks valid to me. What's that? Three setups. Mm, Euro JPY, that's potentially four. Euro JPY. And we got this potential for this little quick scalp here on Euro CAD. I mean, if you just want something quick with like, a 6 pip stop, um, Euro CAD could definitely be an option for you today, just to see if you can catch a quick little bag early in the week, get yourself off on the right foot, catch a couple percent real quick. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. So yeah, I got GU, Euro CAD, USD CAD, gold potentially, Euro JPY potentially. So we got a handful of solid setups, right? We don't want to do too much, right? But just keep it in a nice realm of, I think like 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6 setups, throughout the week, honestly, is more than enough because I'm not gonna execute on all of these, right? It's really just more about timing, positioning, because if two of these trades hit before the third one reaches its entry, I might not take the third or the fourth because I don't want to be over leveraged. You know what I'm saying? So I like to get me about 3 to 5, 3 to 6 different setups. And like the first few that actually, come to me nicely, those probably be the ones I decide to focus on. Just so I'm not in a situation where I got like 6 different trades running at once and now I'm over leveraged and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, man, that's essentially all I got. The goal was to keep this call under an hour. Right now, we had like 52, 53 minutes. So we are moving good on time. I didn't want it to be too long because I know some people gonna get on YouTube, watch the recording, right? So and I want y'all to be able to, watch that in enough time to be able to catch some of these setups as well. All right. Well, other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I will be on the charts heavily this week, so I'm looking forward to it. If you're part of the community, let's get to it. Let's work. I'm excited. Lots of opportunities this week, and I feel like we're gonna do exceptionally well, make a lot of money. All right. That's what this thing is all about. Let's stay focused, let's stay blessed, prayed up, focused, driven, determined, whatever analogy, whatever, you know, description you need to use to turn up this week. Make sure you do it and make sure you're getting better every single day on your journey. That's the only thing that matters, right? So other than that, that's all I got, guys. New week, new setups, new money. Let's get our head right and let's be about our business, right? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I will see you guys in the free community next week. If you are in my specific group, I will see you guys. What's that? Tuesday morning. All right. Appreciate y'all again.